Or he's so deluded that he's like, everybody loves me.
Ryan Reynolds has found himself in the middle of a legal battle that has taken a turn for the dramatic. His motion to dismiss the lawsuit filed by Justin Baldoni is making waves, not just for its legal arguments, but for the tone and language used throughout. The filing is aggressive, emotionally charged, and, according to many, reads as if Reynolds himself had a hand in writing it. The core of the lawsuit involves accusations that Reynolds defamed Baldoni by allegedly calling him a predator. The argument put forth in the motion to dismiss is that even if Reynolds did make those statements, they are constitutionally protected opinions rather than actionable defamation. This stance is controversial, given the gravity of the word predator, especially in the post-Weinstein era of Hollywood, where such labels carry significant professional and personal consequences. A major point of contention in the motion is that it criticizes Baldoni's complaint as being filled with sensationalized claims intended more for public consumption than for legal merit. Reynolds' team argues that Baldoni and his co-plaintiff essentially created a clickbait document designed to generate media attention rather than presenting a solid legal case. This argument is ironic, considering that Reynolds' own response contains language that is theatrical and pointed, appearing to be crafted as much for public perception as for legal defense. The motion also disputes the so-called receipts that Baldoni's team presented as evidence. One example cited in the filing is a set of large colored photographs comparing Reynolds' long-haired look in a movie to Baldoni's long hairstyle at a different point in his life. Reynolds' legal team dismisses this as gossip-level material that does not establish a legitimate legal claim. This reflects a broader theme in the motion. Reynolds and his team argue that Baldoni has failed to provide concrete evidence to back up his accusations, whereas they believe Reynolds has the right to defend his wife and speak his mind. One of the most debated aspects of the motion is Reynolds' attempt to justify his statements by suggesting that, even if he did call Baldoni a predator, it was his genuine belief and thus not defamatory. According to the motion, Reynolds truly believes in his wife's accusations against Baldoni, and as a result, his comments should be protected under the First Amendment. The motion also attempts to distinguish between predator and sexual predator, with Reynolds avoiding the latter term, likely in an attempt to sidestep the strongest potential defamation claims. Further, the motion leans into an argument that could prove tricky for Baldoni, his own past statements.
I wasn't in the best place. I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal.
Reynolds' team points out that Baldoni has spoken publicly about past behaviors and personal growth, including comments on his podcast and in his book that could be interpreted as acknowledgments of inappropriate behavior. Reynolds' legal team argues that Baldoni's own admissions weaken his defamation claim because he has, in their view, effectively labeled himself in a similar manner. This line of argument is legally strategic, but from a PR perspective, it has been seen as an aggressive attempt to discredit Baldoni using his own words against him. Additionally, Reynolds' motion addresses Baldoni's claims that his career has suffered due to Reynolds' alleged actions. Reynolds' team argues that there was no direct contractual relationship between them, and that if Baldoni lost work opportunities, it was not due to any breach of contract by Reynolds. The motion suggests that agencies like WME ceased working with Baldoni for reasons unrelated to Reynolds, dismissing the notion that Reynolds was responsible for damaging his career. While the motion presents legal technicalities that might hold weight in court, the tone and approach taken have fueled the perception that Reynolds is playing the role of a bully rather than simply defending himself and his wife. The filing goes so far as to include references to pop culture, such as a burn book comparison from Mean Girls, which many have pointed to as evidence that Reynolds himself had a hand in crafting the language. The inclusion of such references gives the document a less than professional feel, reinforcing the idea that it was written with public optics in mind, rather than solely for legal proceedings. In terms of public reaction, Reynolds' aggressive stance has turned some neutral observers against him. Many have noted that, while it is understandable for him to stand by his wife, the way he has gone about it has made him come off as vindictive. The idea that Baldoni should simply get over it and move on, despite the alleged damage to his reputation and career, has not sat well with many observers.
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry.
Reynolds' motion also highlights how the legal battle is not just about the court proceedings, but also about the court of public opinion. The language used suggests an effort to shape the narrative, presenting Reynolds as a loyal husband standing by his wife and Baldoni as someone who is overreacting to criticism. Whether this strategy will work remains to be seen, but for many, the approach has backfired, reinforcing the very image of bullying that Baldoni's lawsuit seeks to highlight. As this legal drama unfolds, the big question remains: will the court see Reynolds' statements as protected opinions, or will they find that his actions went beyond free speech and into defamation? And beyond the legal implications, how will this battle affect Reynolds' reputation moving forward? These are questions that will only be answered as the case progresses, but one thing is clear: this is a battle that is playing out as much in the public eye as it is in the courtroom. Beyond the immediate legal battle, this lawsuit raises broader questions about the limits of free speech in Hollywood and how social media plays a role in modern defamation cases. In an industry where perception can be just as damaging as legal action, both Reynolds and Baldoni find themselves entangled in a case that could set a precedent for future disputes. Will Reynolds' aggressive defense strategy set a new standard for celebrities fighting defamation claims, or will it ultimately be seen as an overreach that backfires? The answer may depend on how the court, and the public, interpret his words and intent. Observers will also be watching to see if this case sparks further allegations, either in support of Baldoni or against Reynolds. With Hollywood's history of whispered accusations and behind-the-scenes power plays, this lawsuit has the potential to uncover more than just legal arguments. For now, both parties remain entrenched in their positions, and the outcome could have long-lasting effects on their careers and reputations. Okay, guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth coverage of high-profile legal battles and celebrity news. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Reynolds' defense holds up, or is this lawsuit exposing something deeper? Is Ryan really the bully here? Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.